Terry, it's not every day that on a Monday we get to do a track like Santa Anita. So I'm happy today that it's MLK Day, Terry, that
Yep,
Martin Luther King Day that we're celebrating, that we get a track like Santa Anita for us to handicap today.
that's right. Yeah, yeah, it's a very important day. So
hmm Well,
nice to.
one of my favorite quotes from Martin Luther King of all the quotes that he put out there, he says, "If a man is called to be a street sweeper, are you familiar with this one, Terry?"
No, I'm not.
He says he should sweep the streets even as Michelangelo painted, or as Beethoven composed music, or as Shakespeare wrote poetry. He should sweep the streets so well that the host of heaven and earth will pause to say, "Here lived a great street sweeper who did his job well."
Oh,
Right?
that's a good one.
That's one of my favorite quotes from any human being. In other words, to sum it up, I think, and God forbid me try to crib note Martin Luther King, but it means do the best you can, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Always give it your all, and that's really, I mean, for me as a handicapper, my goal literally is to be the best damn handicapper on the planet Earth.
yeah. I know.
So that I read books. I'm constantly in data. I'm constantly reviewing races, and I'm hoping that someday the heavens and earth will pause when they look back at these videos, Terry, and they'll say, "By golly, there was the best damn handicapper there ever was."
Yeah, yeah. Sounds good to me.
So we'll try to take those talents today, as our friend LeBron James once said. We're trying to take him to South California instead of South Beach.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's great.
So how was your weekend? I know your 49ers won. You're all happy about that.
I am. Yeah, it was a very stressful game there at the end, though. I'll tell you, it took a lot out of me.
Well,
So,
referees falling around, fumbling the ball. But
oh
I
yeah,
mean, one play does not a game make.
yeah. Well, it started to be stressful when the 49ers quarterback threw that interception.
Mm-hmm.
And from that point on, up till then, it was very relaxing. But from that point on, it was very stressful. But
I'm sure for the Cowboys fans, they were very stressed out by the officiating. But so be
yeah,
it. The game is in the books now, as they say, Terry. So that means it's time for you and I to put our picks into the books. And before we move on, we had a pretty good Saturday
yeah, we did.
with our picks at Santa Anita, right, for the stakes
That's
racing.
right.
We had a not so good Saturday at Tampa Bay Downs. Unfortunately, our
Right.
picks didn't do as well, and neither did our guest, Chantel Sutherland. She had kind of a tough day down there. But if you haven't had a chance to catch that Chantel Sutherland interview, you might want to go check that out over at Horse Racing Radar TV. You can also find it on our website, horseracingtoday.net. Apparently, some of the things she said got the horse world talking, which is kind of interesting.
It is. And if you look at Saturday, I think it was the last race. Remember when I talked about that horse from Golden Gate Fields? And I brought up that, you should throw that in as a long shot.
You're
If
talking about now at Santa Anita. Uh-huh.
Yeah, but the horse that came from Golden Gate Fields.
Mhm.
So if you'd taken that horse that I said there at the end and threw it in with my other four horses and boxed it in the superfecta, it would have cost you $12 for a dime, and it paid over $200. So
Not
that
bad.
horse ran fourth.
Mm-hmm. It did indeed. So
Yeah.
it was a good day overall. I was pretty happy about that. So a good
Yeah.
weekend for sure. All right, let's take a look at Santa Anita, Terry. Let's start with race number one. Race number one is 6.5 furlongs, Terry, on the hillside turf, which is something that they stopped doing and then they brought it back in. It's an allowance 69,000, non-winners of one lifetime, Terry. And when you look at it so far at this meet, there have only been 4 races, so really not a big data set for sure. 3 of them were won by speed. 1 went wire to wire. So far in those 4 starts, not one horse from the post position won. You had 1 from 2 and 3, and the rest were 4 and out. So really not a whole lot of data to choose from, but it does still look like 3 out of 4 were speed. So in all likelihood, a horse that gets close to the front is one that's probably going to end up finishing first.
Yep.
How do you like them?
Well, I like the number 5 Gold Phoenix. The breeding suggests that he'll like grass. And he won his maiden race in Ireland on an all-weather track. Lasix is added this time. The trainer-jockey combination in the last 14 days have won 6 or 4 out of 6 races, and has a really sharp workout on January 9th. And then,
Fantastic.
yeah,
What's next?
number 4, Mucho del Oro switches to a high
Lots of gold,
percentage.
huh?
Yeah, he switches to a high percentage jockey, and the trainer last 14 days has won 3 out of 7 starts. He's been in the money. I mean, yeah, money all 7 times. Then I like number 7, Noble Reflection. The breeding suggests he'll like grass. He drops in class today. The dam produced 4 turf winners. Has a sharp workout on January 8th. Matter of fact, has 2 bullet workouts in a row.
Mhm.
And then I like number 6, I'll Stand Taller. Can improve while returning to a spread.
All right, for me, Terry, in race numero uno, I do like a lot of gold myself. Mucho del Oro. The horse has a really good early pace, so he should be a part of the race early on, and had some nice mid-pace, early pace improvement last time. And that's despite some issues early on in the race. And when you look at Vladimir Sirin, he's winning at 40%, the trainer so far at the current Santa Anita meet. So that's a pretty good number. 10 out of, I think 4 out of 10 starts so far. Gold Phoenix, as you mentioned, Terry, the 5 horse had making its U.S. debut. In the race that it did run in Ireland, it did run the highest class rating for any horse in this field. But when I look back at some of the horses that it beat in that race, I'm not quite sure who it beat, if there any of those horses were any good. So it was kind of hard, despite the high class rating, to determine if the class of the field was actually up to the level. Number 3, Tiger Han is the number 1 combination, Terry, of early pace and late pace numbers. That means a horse should be able to string together the start, the middle, and the end of the race. And when you look at Johnny Velasquez in the irons, if you look at examine the data so far for the Santa Anita meet, and Johnny V in sprints, Terry, is winning at a whopping 36%, and he should be close to the front of the pace here as well. Finally, I'll Stand Taller, the 6 horse, Terry, did run one time at the distance and surface at Santa Anita, and actually snugged that. He snagged that win, and he snagged that win with his best speed figure on grass so far. So I like the 4, 5, 3, and 6. So we have a couple combinations in there that we like as well. Race number 2, Terry, is 6 furlongs. They've run some more races at the 6 furlong distance. They've run 18 of them, Terry. And guess out of the 18, how many were won by speed?
Oh, probably 15 at least.
You're right about that. 15 at least. 17, Terry, of them were won by speed. So huge speed bias there. 11 of the 18 won wire to wire. And then if you look at the post position, if there's any bias there, you see there is a nice inside 3 bias, and then 8 out. We don't have an issue with a horse wearing the pink 8 or more, but the inside 3 have done very well. I see that you're starting with the most inside of inside horses. Scream and Shout, 4 to 5 morning line favorite, Terry. Is he going to be beatable?
It's going to be tough, but yeah, he's beatable, but it's going to be tough. This horse ran a really good race, first race back since October, but now he's been off again for a while, and he actually ran against a lot tougher horses in the last race and received the highest last speed rating. Also, the rail post is winning at a 29% clip, as you were talking about. Drops in class today, and he has the best dirt speed among today's starters. Then I like number 3, Happy Trails. Finished 3rd versus Tougher in his last race, and he drops in class today, or she does. And then number 4, Season to Remember. The trainer wins 29% of the time after he claims a horse. And then this horse had trouble last race, threw her head and was crowded at the break. And I like number 5, Wild Arch. She finished in the money 50% of the time at Santa Anita.
We have the same 4 horses, Terry. Not that surprising, considering it's a shallower field, but just a little bit different order. I agree with the morning line maker. I hate that 4 to 5s. I like to try to beat them. But when you look at Scream and Shout, fits the track bias. We said 17 out of 18 races were won by speed, Terry, and Scream and Shout has a huge advantage over everybody else on the early pace figures. Only horse in the field to run a last race speed figure above par. Just needs to repeat the race it just ran. Horses dropping in class, increasing in speed figures, moving up the ladder, faster fractions last out. I mean, I can go on. I list a litany of things why this horse should be the one. It is the one to beat. Number 4, Season to Remember. The trainer here, Jonathan Wong, has won 30% of his starts off of the first claim. And that's not small potatoes, Terry, when you consider it's not like he won 3 out of 10. He's won over 100 out of 306 races that way. So that's a big number, yes. The horse does have the top pedigree in the field, Terry, and last time out ran some of the fastest early fractions for any horse in this field. Number 5, Wild Arch. Funny thing is every Arch I knew was kind of a little on the wild side. I had one that I was kind of friendly with that disappointed me a little bit, but that's all right. Life goes on, right? Yeah. But when you look at the Wild Arch's numbers, very similar, not just a touch softer than Season to Remember in terms of early pace and late pace combo. Though at its best, Terry, Wild Arch has run the fastest opening quarter mile out of any horse in this field, and last time out ran some of the best early fractions as well. Happy Trails, Terry, is walking up that happy ladder in its performance, increasing its speed figure 3 races in a row. The horse is making its second start off the bench, and its resume is kind of spotty on that, so maybe the horse is a little bit better in that regard. But when you look at the fractions in the last race, they were much improved. So I think Happy Trails has a chance to make it 4 consecutive races where it moves up the performance ladder.
All right.
Race number 3, Terry, is our third distance, 1 mile on the turf, Terry. They've run 15 races so far, and it's been a little bit more even keeled in this particular spot because only 8 of them were won by speed, so just 1 over half. But 5 of the winners that were fast did so going wire to wire. Opened up that gate. The next time you saw him was crossing the line first, going into the winner's circle. And here you have a major inside 3 advantage as well, Terry. The inside 3 horses seem to perform the best. And if you can get to 8 and out, which again, I don't think is an issue here, that makes a difference as well. So this race, Terry, is hold on a second. Let me get the conditions open. It is a maiden claiming $50,000 for a purse of $39,000, Terry. Maidens that are fillies and mares 4 years old and up. So these are some old horses that haven't won yet. Which do you think is going to end that curse?
Well, I like number 2, Floral Essence. This horse last race looks like it was a pretty bad race, but it actually increased its speed rating from the race before. And if you look, it had trouble coming into the stretch. It was about 4 wide. And it only was beaten 4 3/4 lengths, even though it ran 9th out of 11 horses. And then I like that it has the highest last speed rating, drops in class today. The trainer wins 22% of the time, second race after a climb. And the highest speed river, she has the highest speed figure at today's distance. And she has one of the best speeds on the turf. Mm-hmm. And then I like, excuse me, let me get a drink of water.
You need a little bit of a drink of water. I'll do my picks, Terry, while you get yourself set up, right?
All right. Well, I think I'm ready. Okay, number 4, Twirling Grace, ran second versus a similar last race and has a very good workout on January 10th. Then I like number 5, Witch Moon, finished in the money 2 out of 5 races at Santa Anita. Mike Smith returns to rider again after riding her last race. Mm-hmm. And then number 6, Acoustic Shadow. The trainer-jockey combination in the last 14 days has a record of 6 starts, 4 wins, and a third, and has a very sharp workout on January 10th.
When I was reviewing this race, Terry, I was looking at, and Equibase has some really, and we don't have any relationship with them, but we're putting a little promo out there for them. If you look around on their website, they have a lot of interesting data. One of the things that they have is like the track. They have the track stats, right? How well jockeys do, trainers do in sprints, in routes, on dirt, on grass. So I was looking at how the jockeys do and how the trainers do. Well, Flavian Pratt so far has won 50% of his races on turf. It's not even close. Nobody else is near that horse. I mean, that jockey. And then when you team him up with D'Amato, Philip D'Amato's won more races than any other trainer on the turf as well. And then when you look at all of the other jockey trainer combos, they really struggle. I just can't get past the fact that Pratt has won 50% of the races on turf. He's teaming up with D'Amato. As you mentioned, it's the top for both. And the horse has shown some early pace last out. If anybody's going to maybe get it, I do like Lady Macarena. Does have the top early pace figures by a wide margin. So maybe Lady Macarena can find her way toward the front, run some fractions that are comfortable for her, and then finish off the race with some strong kick late because she is taking a drop from what I call the Tom Carley drop. We'll just term it that. The maiden special weight to maiden claiming drop, running for a purse of $70,000 last time, all the way down to $39,000, and is doing that with the top pedigree and a weight break. So horse that has the top early figures can drop in the big Tom Carley drop and getting a weight break. That could be a good combination. The number 2, Floral Presence, Terry, is one of those horses that likes to finish in the money, but isn't maybe kind of shy. It doesn't like to get its picture taken because it doesn't spend a whole lot of time in the winner's circle. Much like Lady Macarena is taking that Tom Carley drop from $70,000 maiden special weight to $39,000 maiden claiming. Did run a race last time that if she can repeat it, because it was the only one in the field where the last race speed figure was above par for the level, just do that and she's fine. And in fact, when I did my grading system, I actually graded out as the top horse. And I started off talking about Flavian Pratt and D'Amato on the turf. Well, Tyler Bays on the turf, Terry, so far has run 18 times. He has as many turf wins as you and I do, 0. And in those 18 races, he only has 2/3. So I really wonder if maybe, turf routes or maybe Bays' kryptonite. And then finally, number 1, Golden Journey, Terry, is going to make its second start off the bench. And when it makes a second start off the bench, the resume says the horse will get better than it did the first time coming out of the barn. And then Johnny V coming on as the jockey today, I think is a nice upgrade as well.
If you look at this race and our picks, that shows you how wide open this race is, because we had picked every horse in the race in the 2 combinations of ours.
That's pretty funny.
That's right. 1 through 6 we have. So
well,
somebody's going to get through this second leg of the pick 4.
We're going to get the winner there for sure, Terry, between
That's
one.
right.
The question is who. It's probably going to be the 6 horse. The 4th horse, the 4th race is 6.5 furlongs, Terry. It's another maiden claiming. It's about the low as they go at Santa Anita. Maiden claiming $20,000 for maidens that are 4 years old and up. So again, this is some older horses that have not figured out how to get to the winner's circle yet. So, I mean, it's another one of those races that anything could happen, Terry. And It's 6.5 furlongs, Terry. They've only run 6 races so far. 4 of them were won by speed. So again, doesn't surprise me. Sprint, dirt, California, you probably have to be fast towards the front. Of those 6 races, 2 of them were won wire to wire. A lot of them were won from posts 1, 2, and 3. All of them were won within the first 7 posts, which will happen again today. How do you like them here?
Well, I like to start out with number 2, Bigwell. This horse ran 3rd last race and was beaten 7 lengths, but bumped at the start of the race, so might have a little bit of excuse. Has the highest last speed rating and drops in class today. And then has a sharp workout on January 9th, and then prior to that had a bullet workout. And then I like number 3, Careless Kitten. Finished 3rd versus similar in the last race. The best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters, tied actually with another horse. And I like number 6, Virago. Showed some speed in his first race. And then number 7, Dutch Bus, off slow in the first race, and a better start this time, I think, will really help his race.
So we're being asked who won the first race at Laurel Park. I think Pratik that they actually got canceled today, based upon what I'm seeing on my screen. That it's showing it's showing race 13 already, which tells me that was canceled. Yeah, Laurel Park today, all races were canceled. In fact, so were the races at Mahoning Valley today. All those races were shut down as well. So no racing at Laurel Park today, no racing at Mahoning Valley today. But Terry, do you know where they're going to have some racing for sure?
Santa Anita.
Santa Anita. Another place too that they're going to have some racing, Terry, is Turf Paradise today. And if you head over to Guaranteed Tip Sheet today, Turf Paradise is our free track of the day. So you just go over there, head over to Guaranteed Tip Sheet, click on Turf Paradise, and you will see JJ's Crown in the first race. Hey, at 3-1 is a best bet option. Updating something else today, Terry. Over the weekend, I don't know if you saw this, but Sean was giving away some signed T.D. Houghton materials.
Yeah.
Did you enter for that, Terry?
No.
Why not?
No, but I was so busy trying to get things done for the races and all of that stuff. I'm watching my 49ers that I just didn't get to it.
And so I think the winners were announced. So if there again, you could see the pictures. I know Sean's got a whole lot more stuff coming up. So you're going to want to make sure that you're registered at Horse Race Today on Facebook or Twitter. And I know Sean opened up Instagram as well as some other accounts on the weekend. So keep up with us wherever we are. We're gonna expand to every social media platform that's out there because we want to meet the people where they are. Right, Terry?
That's correct. Yep, absolutely.
So keep an eye out for that. I know, Sean, based upon some of the connections that we have, as well as some of the what timing, but some of the connections that we have, as well as some of the folks who have come on our shows are willing to, work with us and sign up some nice photos and stuff like that. So be on the lookout for that over on our social media sites. All right, Terry, back to the races. Race number 5, Terry, is my box it up on the day. So let me pull that up on the screen. And when we box it up, what we do is we take our top 4 picks. We do a $1 exacta box, a 50-cent trifecta box, and a 10-cent superfecta box. And I think Thursday, the last time we did it, Terry, I have like a $57 exacta.
You did, yeah, absolutely.
Had a nice long shot in there. So for me, race number 5, I'm starting it off with Cider Apple, Terry.
Okay.
Cider Apple runs well off the bench. It's been a horse for the course. So 5 of 6 races at Santa Anita in the money. And then if you look at this horse, it's another one that does not find the winner's circle all that often, but does finish in the money a lot. I think this race is pretty wide open as well. Maiden claiming 20,000. I mean, it's going to be wide open.
Yeah.
No, this one's not. I'm sorry. Race 5 is 1 1/8 miles on the turf. This is not a maiden claiming race. And in those 6 races, Terry, 150-50, some speed horses, some closing horses. And then post position has won 2 of those 3 so far, Terry. So let me get the conditions of this race. It's not maiden claiming. I apologize, Terry. This one is a optional claiming, $50,000 non-winner of 1 lifetime. I just off by race. Closing remarks, Terry, is taking a big drop in class, the 3 horse. Last time out, the horse ran for $300,000. Today, it's running for just $69,000. It's getting Lasix for the first time. And when you look at the horse's runs, dirt, surfaces, certainly seems to prefer running on grass the best, with 5 races, 1 win, and 3 seconds. So another one that likes to finish in the money, just doesn't really quite know how to finish first. Number 6, Buzz of New York, is one of 2 horses in a row that have the last race speed figure over par. And I already mentioned that I already talked about the Flavian Pratt, Philip D'Amato combination on turf. This is the top combination, hands down. And this horse is just 1 length and a head, Terry, in 3 out of 4 races here in the U.S. since coming to the States of winning them. Finally, number 2, Soaring Sky, is the other horse that has the last race speed figure greater than par for this level and has the top late pace figure. So this is one that should be charging late, just needs to get a little bit of a better start. And this is the second start for the horse in the U.S. Normally, from my experience, Terry, I've noticed that international travelers tend to do better in race number 2 than they do in race number 1 in the U.S. What say you?
I think you're right about that. I've noticed that also. Well, I like the same first horse that you like, number 5, Cider Apple. As you said, finished 3rd versus similar in last race, and has finished in the money 5 out of 6 times at Santa Anita. He switches to high percentage jockey Johnny V. Then I like number 3, Closing Remarks. He's back on the turf where she likes it a lot better, I think. And then she drops in class, like you said, quite a bit. Best turf speed is fastest among the starters. She gets Lasix added today. She has a sharp workout on January 10th. Then I like number 6, Buzz of New York. Won his last race at run her last race at Del Mar and received the highest last race speed rating. Has a good jockey trainer combination. And then I like Fearless Girl, number 4. She's the trainer of this girl is been 27% of the time. First race after the being the beaten favorite wins. And blinkers are added today, and the trainer jockey combination in the last 14 days has won 2 out of 4 races.
Yeah, and this is a good spot, Terry, I feel like, to bring up our hot dog pick 4s because we started them in race number 2. No need for the paper bag pick 4 here. So you're going to single that one horse in the second race, which I said had a litany of reasons. I'm going to maybe try to beat it with the 4 horse. I'm going to go 2-2-2 down, and then I'm going to try to close it out in the last leg with 5 horses. Maybe I should have did the 5 horses in the leg you and I completely have different horses on. And you're going to go 1, 4, 3, and 3.
Yep.
So. All right. So there you see it. Terry's is $18. Mine's $20. Take a snapshot of that real quick. And of course, I'll bring them up like always, Terry, at the end of the show when we do a recap of all of our picks. All right, Terry, let's move on to race number 6, which is a battle of the best bets. I don't know if that's a good idea, Terry. Last time we did the battle of the best bets, neither one of our horses did very well.
That's correct. It's correct. Yeah.
So tell us why you think I have the 6 horse finishing second in mine. You have it winning. I have the 1 horse winning. You have it finishing 4th in yours. Why do you think the 6 horse beats the 1 horse?
Well, first of all, it's got a lot of speed. If you look at it, coming in from oh geez, lost my train of thought there. Anyway, the trainer wins 38% of the time when its horses run the last race. It won its last race at Hawthorne. And the early running style, I think it helps chances. It has a sharp workout at Santa Anita. It's 36-2.
And then, the horse coming from Hawthorne, from my neck of the woods.
Yes, Hawthorne, yes. And then the second horse that I like is number 5, Starship Chewbacca. Won 2 races in a row and is going now for a hat trick. Sharp 4-furlong workout on January 11th. And then I like number 4, Santana. Has finished in the money in 9 out of 12 races, winning 6 at today's distance. And he'll close to try to win. And then I like number 1, Black Storm. Won last race at Los Alamitos. Received the highest last race speeding. And the rail post is winning at a 29% clip, as we've said before.
Well, I like Black Storm in our battle of the best bets here, Terry, because it does have the top early pace numbers. And along with the early pace numbers, he has the top combination of early pace and late pace numbers, Terry. I know it doesn't look like that in the past performances because it looks like more a horse that's come off the middle. But when you do the measuring out, a horse might be a little bit closer than you expect to the front. And on top of that, Terry, the horse is getting a small weight break from, as you mentioned, the high win percent rail. So a little bit less weight to carry this time around. Number 6, Storm Inside, Terry. As you mentioned, this horse is very consistent, Terry. In fact, the horse has put up 8 what I call high-quality races in its last 10 starts. That's a 80% clip. Most horses are happy if they can hit that number 60% of the time. Last time out, won by more than a length in an easy win, Terry. Even though the speed number kind of dropped a little bit from the prior race, I'm not so concerned because when you see a horse have a speed number drop but won by a big amount, that really tells me the horse didn't have to work too hard, so should have plenty left in the tank. Gotta love the name of the next horse here, Terry. Number 5, Starship Chewbacca.
Yeah.
This one has the ability to get really fast out of the gate. In fact, it's put the fastest quarter-mile fractions out of any horse in this field on the track during race time. My biggest concern is the horse is coming off the bench. And when you look back at past performances, I'm a big cycle person, Terry. The horse has not run well. Usually needs one before it starts to find its stride. But that early ability is something that scares me a little bit. And finally, number 7, Street Vision, Terry, has the second best early pace numbers. It's another horse that should improve in the second start off the layoff. And I'm pretty confident that it will because last workout was a bullet workout, Terry, between races. And the pedigree, the top pedigree in the field, suggests that you're going to see that horse do very well. Race number 7, Terry, is a 1.5 miles on the hillside turf, Terry. It is the Astra Stakes. Now, they don't run many at 1.5 miles on the hillside turf. So I had to look back at the previous Astra Stakes. I think there's only been like 7 of them, Terry. But for the most part, 7 of them. Only the last 2 of the 7 were run on that hillside turf. So when you look at those 2, Terry, the horses were both mid-pack and both had outside draws. Last year, the 8-horse won. The year before that, the 6-horse won. But even if you look at just the turf course, more often than not, mid-pack horses won with an outside post. Again, here, Terry, we have an enormous favorite in Neige Blanche, Terry. I looked at this race, Terry. The horse has not been all that successful on its own, but when you compare it to the rest of the field, Neige Blanche is really facing the softest field it's probably ever faced.
Yep, I agree with that. Yeah, you saw it, she won the Grade 3 last time out, and actually ran it all the way on top. But this horse, most of the time, comes from mid pack, as you were talking about. If you go back to May 8th, she ran a mile and a half, and she went from broke fourth by 3.5 lengths, and then just proceeded to move up until she won that race. As you said, this horse has lots of class. It's going to be tough to beat this horse. She has
and
the
it's
best
2 to 5 morning line. I mean, it's going to be hard
Yeah.
to beat this horse.
She has the best turf speed among today's starters, and then trying to beat her, I'm going to try with number 4, Ray Wah. Ran fourth in her last race on the dirt, and now returns to the turf. She won her last 2 races in a row on the turf, if you look there. And then number 2, Disappearing Act, like Santa Anita, finishing in the money in 5 out of 6 races, winning 2 of those races. Has a jockey, Flavorian Pratt, who has a record in the last 7 days of 50% wins, as you were saying, and 4 seconds. So, and then I like Shizero, won the last race at Golden Gate Fields. The trainer wins 24% of the time, the first race, after bringing a winner back to the race.
For me, Terry, Disappearing Act, 5 of 6 in the money at Santa Anita. Unlike the horse in the previous race that struggled coming off the bench, Disappearing Act usually does well after some time on the bench. A little bit of rest and relaxation does a Disappearing Act pretty well. Rewa is the top late pace numbers in this field, Terry. Won the last 2 times it found itself on grass. The last race was moved off the grass to dirt, didn't fare as well, and has won 4 of its 8 starts overall on turf. So clearly, the performance says that Rewa likes to run on grass better than dirt. Finally, number 3, Terry, I threw the long shot in here over Scherzo. Froze has the top early pace figures in this field, so it's probably going to be the pace setter. And when you look, I think back to that race here where when was it? Domestic Spending got beat. I forget by who right now, but where the fractions were slow, and the horse up front was able to take the slow fractions and convert it into a win. When you look at Froze, it has top early speed figures, fastest quarter mile fractions, and actually has the top pedigree for this field. So maybe that pedigree comes out. Maybe the horse gets confidence being up on the lead without being really challenged, and maybe they can run some good fractions and get away with it, Terry. We'll see. I do think it's going to be, I mean, like I said, Neige Blanche hasn't faced anything like this since coming to the U.S. So this is your box it up, Terry. Race number 8. Let's pull up the box it up so people can again see how we stack them. So Terry has number 1, Unbroken Star. Tell us what you like here, Terry. And again, this is, as you can see on the bottom, where we at box and exacta, trifecta, and superfecta.
Okay, well, it's won 2 races in a row 2 races at Santa Anita's at today's distance. Drops in class today. His best dirt speed, as fast as among today's starter. And the jockey, Flavian Pratt, as we talked, has really been on fire. Mm-hmm. And number 4, Buttered Noodles, ran second in his last race at Los Alamitas. The trainer wins 22% of the time that he enters his mounts and routes. Then at number 3, Big Buzz, has the highest last speed rating, drops in class today, has a good workout on January 3rd. And then number 2, Tempo, won the last race at Los Alamitas and has a pretty good workout January 8th.
I left the noodles off part, Terry. I don't know. I just says buttered there, so forgive me. But maybe, maybe it's that 2022 resolution that, I did. So the first year of COVID, I did the COVID -20.
Uh-huh.
Then last year, the second year of COVID, I put about half of that back on. Now I'm on the process of taking it all back off again. So in year 3 of COVID, I'm going to do COVID -20 again. So maybe I just didn't want to see the carbohydrates there.
Could be.
Yeah, it could be. You never know how that all works out. So race number 8, Terry, is a mile and a 16th. They've run 5 races at the distance so far, Terry, 4 of them. So 80% won by speed, with 2 of the 5 going wire to wire. When you look at the wins, Terry, the rail has 1 win. Posts 2 and 3 each have a win, and you only have 1 win for races posts 4 through 7. So looks to me like you want to kind of have a little bit of an inside bias there. And this is a claiming $20,000 race, Terry, with a purse of $34,000. Again, little older horses here, 4 years old and up, and the weight is 124 pounds. For me, Terry, I'm going to start my selections with Unbroken Star. It's one of 2 horses in this field that's actually dropping in class from 35,000 to 35,000, as we talked about. Horse does have the top pedigree in the field, so it's bred for the distance and surface, Terry. Does have some of the fastest opening quarter-mile fractions that any horse ran last time in the race. And again, just Flavien Prat is just not leaving many wins on the course for other jockeys, Terry. When you look at Flavien Prat record on the dirt course on routes, he's won 14 of 33 races.
That's fantastic. Yeah, he's on fire.
Unbelievable. So
Really
for
well.
me, I didn't leave off the noodle part in my commentary. Butter Noodles, Terry, has the top early pace numbers by a wide margin. So I'd expect Butter Noodles to be out to a buttery fast lead, Terry. And last time out showed that it does have that kind of early pace. So Butter Noodles should be one of the early pace setters. Number 3, Big Buzz. Terry ran the top last race speed figure and is the only other horse in the field to take a drop in the class from 40,000 to 34,000 in terms of purse money. The only question to me is the horse has run almost exclusively on the turf lately, so it's now returning to dirt. So you have to kind of look at the past at the workouts to get a sense of what the horse thinks about running on dirt, and the workouts are okay. I think the last time was the 3rd fastest of 22, so that suggests to me that the dirt should not be an issue. Finally, going with style, Terry, trainer Brittany Vandenberg has claimed has brought back 32 horses so far that have been in the barn for 46 to 90 days, Terry. Of those 32 horses, 13 of them came back to the track to win.
Wow.
And it just needs to rewind a little bit to its previous starts because it does have the second best combination of early pace and late pace figures. So it should be a part of the mix right from the beginning, and then has the late stamina, and it should, based upon Brittany's track record, to get the job done at the end. Finally, Terry, the last race of the day at Santa Anita, where it should be nice out. I mean, what's the weather like by you anyway?
Oh, it's not bad. It's pretty nice. A little foggy. Probably 50 degrees.
Yeah, and then Santa Anita, I know that Arcadia, California it's a little bit south of you. But anyway, this one is 1 mile on the turf, an allowance $25,000 race, Terry, with a purse of $40,000. They've run 15 races, as we mentioned, at the distance, with 8 of them winning by speed, 5 going wire to wire. And you want to be inside or outside, Terry. How are you going to start your picks?
Well, I'm going to start with number 7, Nice Ice. Now, this last race that Nice Ice ran really a pretty bad race. Ran 8th by 11th, but was bumped at the 8th. And also, I really think this horse likes turf much better than likes the dirt. Mm-hmm. So anyway, so she's back to turf. She drops in class today. She has the highest speed figure at today's distance. And the trainer-jockey combination in the last 14 days has been in the money 4 out of 5 times, winning 2 of those. Then I like Clearly Gone, won her last race at Golden Gate Fields, and has finished in the money in the last 4 races, winning 2 of those. Has a sharp workout on January 9th. Then I like number 1, Bye Bye Birdie. Won 2 out of the last 3 races at Santa Anita. And then I like number 5, Trickle In. Won her last race at Santa Anita. The trainer wins 24% of the time when bringing a horse that has won its last race back to race again.
The first post today, Terry, just as a quick update, it's going to be 3:30 Eastern time today. So it'll be 12:30 out on the West Coast. And for me, Terry, I'm going to end my day with the same horse that you have on top. Number 7, Nice Ice, is one that does have a very fast opening fractions last time out. Again, we've talked, too many times about Flavien Prat today and what he's done at the turf and what he's done in routes. The horse is taking a small drop in class from a $55,000 purse to a $40,000 purse. I mean, hell, if you just put Pratt in a race, you got like a 50% chance of it winning. Yeah. Which means if any time Pratt's running, as long as you're, especially on a turf route, where he's won 50% of the races. If you're getting odds that are better than 1-1, you're actually getting value based upon his win rate so far.
Yes, that's true.
Number 2, Clearly Gone, has the top late pace numbers in the field, Terry. In the money, 11 of 14 at the distance. So clearly running a mile is the preferred distance for Clearly Gone. And, we talked a little bit about a horse a couple races ago being very consistent. Well, Clearly Gone is about as consistent as they come because he's won 9 high quality starts in the last 10 races. Number 5, Terry, Trickle In, is the horse that ran the last race speed figure above par for this group and did that with better fractions than the race before. Run last time out as the favorite, Terry. And you know how we like to, a lot of times when we miss horses, when we go back and review, we see that the horse was bet well the race before, then its odds went up and we kind of missed that angle. Well, We're not going to miss that angle here today with Trickle In. And finally, number 8, for me, the last horse in this race is a real tough call, because I also like the one horse Bye Bye Birdie. But when I look at Zabava, it should be better. This horse has improved every single time in round 2 off the bench, Terry. And in the money, 9 out of 15 at the distance, and provides us a little better price. So that wraps up our picks today at Santa Anita, Terry. Let's real quick recap our hot dog pick 4.
Okay. I like the second race. I like the 1. Third race, I like the 2, 4, 5, and 6. Fourth race, I like the 2, 3, 6. Fifth race, I like the 5, 3, 6.
And here are our prime rib picks, so you can take a look at those.
Okay.
Again, as always, we'll recap all this information. You can find the show at Horse Racing Radar TV, and if you on YouTube. If you like the show, Terry, what should you do?
You should subscribe to us on the YouTube channel, and you should like us on Facebook or follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Horse Race 2 Day, the number 2 day, and then of course like us on Facebook.
And if you can give us a thumbs up both on Facebook or a like on Facebook, thumbs up on YouTube, we'd greatly appreciate it. It helps us with the algorithms. What helps us even more is if you tell your friends about us. And the way we've been winning, heck, Tom and I lit it up at Australia. I mean, the only place we didn't really do well with is, and I feel bad about this, I feel like we jinxed Chantel a little bit, was Tampa Bay Downs. But outside of that, we've been winning pretty much everywhere else as of late. One final thing before we get up and out of here, Terry, today, as always, you can head over to horseracingtoday.net and you can catch Terry's best bet of the day. Today is race number 6, Terry. You can see here it is, Terry's best bet of the day.
Yeah, I like the number 6 horse, Stormside. Won his last race and has finished in the money in 9 out of 11 times. Of course, winning 6 of those races in 2021. The trainer wins 38% of the time when bringing a winner back to race again. Has a sharp workout. And then I like number 5, Starship Chewbacca. I mean, you got to love the name, as you said. Won 2 races in a row and is going for a hat trick. Has a sharp workout January 11th. Then I like number 4, Satana. Has finished in the money in 9 of 12 races, winning 6 of those at today's distance, and will try to close to win.
Yeah, and of course, if you head on over to the site, there's all sorts of interesting stuff over there. We're going to have some couple news stories today. You can see again if you missed it, you want to definitely watch it. See Terry's best bet, all of our videos over here, some news. But we have the Player's Edge with Chantel Sutherland, her question and answer, the QA from last week with Rosie Napranovic. We'll have a good guest on again this weekend, Terry. At the moment, the name is escaping me, so forgive me, please. I will have that. And we got some other stuff there's a lot of big things coming in 2022, folks. So you're going to want to stay tuned at horseracingtoday.net. You're going to want to follow us on Facebook and Twitter, as Terry mentioned, at Horse Race 2 Day, and then subscribe here on the YouTube channel. We're not all that far from 1,000 subscribers, so if you can help us get to that number, we would greatly appreciate it. And the best way you can help us is by telling your friends about us. Any final thoughts, Terry, before we get up and out of here? Oh, any idea what track you want to do tomorrow?
Oh, yeah, we're going to do Parks.
All right, so tomorrow we'll be doing Parks. Wednesday, I think we'll be doing Gulfstream Park. And on Thursday, again, we'll do Aqueduct, provided it doesn't get snowed out or cold out. And hopefully we can repeat the performance we had last Thursday at Aqueduct.
That's right, yeah. I'm hoping we can do that every day this week, tell you the truth.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, well, I just want everybody to be safe, as I've said in the past, and and have a good week. I plan on having a good week. I'm pretty busy this week. Got a lot of things going on. So just have a great time and be careful.
For me, Terry, on this Martin Luther King Day, let me just say, no matter what you do, if the heavens and earth see that you see your work, let them say, if you're a street sweeper, that by golly, the best damn street sweeper who ever lived here. Take that advice to heart, make it a part of your life. And as always, Terry, we hope to find every one of our picks, all of your picks in the
winner's circle.
Absolutely. Have a fantastic Monday, everybody. Tomorrow we'll see you with Parks Picks.